Ghana movie industry is, well, let me say it's in a comatose state. I don't think I'll be the best person. I'll be a better person to mention or say it is dead, because it is not dead. But for me, I think, well, it can be well revived. It's in a comatose state. So what can be done to revive the Ghana film industry? In the studio, with me to have this discussion is filmmaker Socrates Safo and Peter Sedufia, award-winning filmmaker Peter Sedufia. Good morning to you and welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Chairman, are you okay?
I'm not. Because I'm wondering why we are just, I think, 4 in the studio.
Right.
And it's just a small place.
Right.
And when you are playing the music,
Right.
you open it so loud that we can't even...
Because it's a studio.
No, but a studio, you're supposed to play it.
Because I need to feel the vibe. You know, it's a
No,
vibe.
but you even have your headphones on.
Because it goes directly in my ear. And I felt like you also must...
It's affecting your eardrums.
No. I felt
Who
like
told
you...
you?
Who told you? Are you a...
Yes, I know.
Yours is to hold camera.
Are you okay? But are you okay with that?
Why are you asking me that question?
Because I think you have a problem. You need to check your ears then, because with this volume.
You know the presenter that opens his earphone so loud, Black Rasta? It's very loud. Sometimes I look at him and say, hey, is everything okay? My brother, you will die. Oh. He said, I need to feel the vibe. Sometimes you need to be in a certain mood to, to present the music.
Yeah.
When it's too down, it affects your presentation.
Oh,
and for me,
well, you are in that seat.
Yes.
So you know how it feels.
Yeah. But forgive me if
from this side, I think sometimes
it was loud.
It's not just here. In the studio you go, the open is so loud.
Because you need to be in a certain mood. If it's a recording studio, that's different. And even with a recording studio, sometimes it must come up so you hear the. If there are mistakes in
Don't
there.
Don't you think it's the nightlife that affects you?
Yes. Yeah. It's also a part. For instance, my mom, I speak to my mom sometimes. I sit in front of her, we talk, and then I talk on top of my voice, and she says, "And you know it affects you. You are so right. But forgive me if it affected you.
But I'm sure in 2 years, if Socrates becomes a DJ, I'll get to his studio and say, Socrates, is this really you?
Well, you're not the same person.
Music so loud.
The same person, yeah. Same person. Okay, gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
so we're looking at the film industry. I said earlier that it's in a comatose state. Do we all agree? It's not dead, but it's in a comatose state.
I don't agree. I don't.
Do you think it's dead?
It's not dead too. It's not in comatose. It's not dead. I think it's still existing.
So, okay, do you share the same? Do you agree?
Well, it's not like before. I've used the word dead before. I've used the word collapsed before. I've used the word comatose before. I've used all manner of words to describe it because I am confused. Because things are not as it used to be. Yeah. So it depends on the discussion, what you want to, the message you want to send across,
right,
and how you want them to receive it, and the kind of word you use.
Peter, if it's not dead, yet not in a comatose state, how do you see it?
I say, okay, well, if you say is the Ghanaian film industry dead, that alone even is a different question as to whether we even have that thing called an industry. It's a different conversation. But
so
I feel
no. Well, it means we don't have an industry.
Yes, I mean, because if you say industry, this is just like individuals making their own films, and when it's successful, they say they are going to make the next one. If it's not successful, they pack their equipment and sit in the house. But if you have an industry, it means that it's a structured environment that people know where to go for even certain assistance. People know even where to get, let me say, financial support to make the next film and probably pay back and get another. Those kind of things. Or if you want a crew, where to go to get them. There's a database. Those kind of things, they are very structured so that you don't just get up, carry camera and start filming. And I'm sure that Secret will speak on some of those because they have been working behind closed doors to just get some things done in a best way. I'm sure we will come to that and then I'll pass my comment. But for now, it's just individuals. And so I'm one of those individuals and I've not stopped making films. The only reason why I didn't even make any film, like this 6 March out, I should be releasing a film. But I didn't make any film because of the COVID-19. And as a business person, I didn't see the need to jump on set and be making film when I didn't even know when the cinemas were going to be open and to even fix a date and just go and produce. No, that would be a very bad investment. And so if individuals like me are also making their films and they are not sleeping, then I don't think for them filmmaking has come to an end. But if you don't have the means to make the next film and make the next film, to you, it has come to an end. And if you're an actor and you had an experience with a producer and he doesn't call you for the next film, and probably word go out and then the next producer also doesn't call you for, you would think that the industry is dying, but it's your job that is being affected. Other people are getting hired and they are on set probably like 3 movies in 2 months, or even some of them 3 movies in a month.
I'm surprised you still use the word industry in your speech because you said we don't even have an industry.
I agree.
Why don't you think we have an industry? And even if there is nothing like an industry, how do you call what we have?
You see, the industry, the word
Now
industry
you
just
use
makes
the
the
industry
conversation.
again.
It makes the conversation simpler because that is what we expect to have. And so when you're having a conversation, you keep mentioning industry. But I think that I'll say we have a filmmaking community where people decide when they want to go on set and when not to go on set, and they are not compelled by anything. They don't have any guidelines to say, okay, this thing that I'm embarking on, am I following this set rule by the industry guidelines? There's nothing like that yet. And so you can say that, I mean, I don't know about the music fraternity, but I'm speaking for the film side, that it's hard to say, okay, I want to make a film. Now, where do I go to first? Because you cannot just get up in terms of permits and all sort of things. There are a lot of things that go into even coming up with this thing called an industry that has a structure. Once there's nothing like that, and individuals get up and decide when they want to go and how they want to go and how much they should pay cast and crew and how much they should even rent equipment, then you know that it's just people determining their own prices, and even the owners of those equipment or the cast themselves determining how much they want to be paid or how much the producer wants to pay them. But once there are all those things there, which are well structured, and you know that a grade A actor should have a starting pay of, let me say, 3,000 per movie. You don't go to that actor and then start from 1,000. You are starting from 3,000 and above. But there's nothing like that. That applies also to crew. So if all these things are not happening and they are somewhere else that's in the advanced country, I would say that, okay, then we have not reached there yet to even call ourselves an industry. That's what I can say about the issue of not having an industry.
So
but
to answer the question, how do you call what we have? You've still not answered that.
that's what I'm just saying, that it's just like a film community, like independent filmmakers making their film.
I see Soko is
Yeah.
Soko is giggling.
Just
Senior
like-
man.
Do you have this song by Mayese Amopen?
Yeah, OJ.
OJ, you have it. If you can put it
Underneath.
because Sedofia is one person. Anytime we meet and we have a conversation, I just look at him and I say, "Oh, Mayese Amopen." You see,
What? And then
I was a radical. And sometimes when I see the Kwansans and the Kinampaos and
Okay.
they look at me as though they say, "Akwa, we want you."
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, but you don't agree with
well,
what he's
I don't
saying.
agree with him, but I understand where he's coming from. We have an industry, first and foremost, but this argument of saying that we don't have an industry, we don't have an industry, for me, sprang out of quote unquote ignorance. Ignorance from the point that we think that an industry is something that is supposed to be like this or like that. But you ask yourself, do the Germans have a film industry? Do the Dutch people have a film industry? How about Nigeria? How about South Africa? How about Ghana? Do they have an industry? If you ask a Ghanaian, will say, oh yeah, they have an industry, but we don't have. What do they have that we don't have here? Because he mentioned that, is there a place that you can go and get equipment? I can say yes. We have places that you go and you get equipment. There are so many places. If you go to CJ's place, you get all kind of but because we know where CJ is, do you understand? And if you go to America, they have companies who rent equipment. Just like the way we have CJ here who rents equipment. Not just CJ, there are others too who have equipment that they rent. Me, I have equipment I rent. Those who know come to me. From Black Magic to wherever, I have them. They come to me, I rent it to them. So if you say that we don't have places we can go for equipment, so we don't have an industry, and your judgment is based on that, and I sit here, I just look at you, I'll shake my head.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so recently, I think last week,
Yeah.
the incoming Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dr. Awal Mohammed, mentioned setting up a film studio. It's with an audio studio, and he mentioned that under his watch, he sees to it that all of these things are revived. Do you think with the setting up of a studio or a film studio, Peter, we can have an industry thenceforth?
I don't think that is the only thing. It's just
That is the reason Socrates came hard at you.
so-
Because if all of these things are provided and you still say we don't have an industry, then what at all are you looking for?
So, Andy, I think I had a chance to be in Germany, the one that he mentioned, where we were discussing issues relating to funding and things like that. And then they mentioned that with them, what they have as policy is that if you are getting money from Germany, you need to mostly do a lot of the production and post-production work with them. Even if you are filming outside Germany, like 70% of the productions or the post-production should be done in Germany, and that is part of their policy. It means that there's a regulation, and even how to even assess the fund. There is also laid down procedures to do that. Where do you even go to do the finishing? How many of their crew should even attach to your production? If you are bringing in equipment to their country, what pertains to it? Where you need all these things are there, and so you ask yourself that, okay, if these things are so clear like this, it means that there's some regulations going on. It means that someone has identified that this is an avenue that we can make some money from, or we can devote some kind of attention or resources to. And so let's regulate it and give it this kind of principles or guiding rules, or let me say guidelines.
Okay.
And so I saw that, I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. But I'm telling you that if foreigners are coming to Ghana here, I'm told there are some like, but sometimes it's like,
You are told.
oh, it's okay, I'm coming there. I know that you're coming there, something like that. But I don't know. I have not seen the
It's there. All that you are saying is
because
they are
I
there.
have brought in invited people in here to film before,
Right.
and none of those things apply to me.
Because you managed to beat the system.
No, I didn't beat the system,
when you
because
say none of
beat the
that
system.
apply to you, what does that mean?
it means that I didn't even know that those things, what do you call it, mechanism existed, and it's not like.
Didn't you hire people from Ghana, the carpenters, the cameramen, even your DOP? Were they not Ghanaians?
Yeah, they were, no, I mean some of them were foreigners.
He's
But-
talking
but-
about the
but
foreigners he brought in.
Yes, when you brought them,
Yes.
all the people that contributed to the making of the film,
yes.
the greater part wasn't were they not Ghanaians?
Oh no, they were Ghanaian, but I'm just saying that all those people that I was bringing in needed to have been regulated even.
Okay.
So for me to just bring them in and then they finish filming and go away, it means that there's not. Maybe it's just there, but it's fictional, or it's just.
Peter,
Wait, there's nothing. Even for instance, you can even read online. Right now, if you Google, you can read online the things I'm talking about the Germany side. That okay, I want to go to Germany to film. This is what they are saying about their filming in their country and things like that. Before you even set off, if I don't tell you from Ghana that James, as you come to Ghana, this is what we are told that happens and things like that. These are words of mouth. But if the thing is well structured and well laid down, you know that there's something happening. Things are being regulated, and not people telling you that things are being regulated.
Peter,
That's what I'm trying to say.
Peter, what you are saying, me, Socrates Safo, I've shot 2 films in Holland. I shot Back to Kotoka in Holland. I also shot a film in America. I didn't go through that lay down procedure.
Procedures.
I managed to beat the system. Do you understand?
Including bringing crew and people.
Yes,
from the-
I took people from here to Holland. Not banning them and all that. I took them from here to Holland. I managed to sneak in. And
shoot.
yes, and even when it comes to music, you have Ghanaian musicians even going to America to go and perform per their regulations.
Without work permits.
Yes. Do you understand? So the fact that people are able to beat the system doesn't mean that the system is not there. Do you understand? They are musicians.
I'm a typical example.
You manage to sneak in and you find a way to go
work.
in. I have also brought crew here before. Do you understand? We shot documentaries and things like that. But we have all that you are saying.
Where can we find them?
The regulations.
Yes, the things that you said we have. Where can we find them?
If you're talking of regulations, before you bring a crew here, in time past before Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, you go to the Ministry of Information and they will give you the clearance, the permits and the guidance per the regulations you are supposed to have a Ghanaian by you to make sure that the script, even the script that you will come and shoot, you send it in before they go through and they approve before you will be giving somebody to guide you to make sure that yes, it is going on. Do you understand? Fine. All these are there, but there were some challenges with personnel and all that. It doesn't mean that it's not there. So sometimes people are able to beat the system and they manage to do it, but don't use that as
So that this information is not public knowledge. Or
because
something.
you.
No, I'm asking.
Probably
Why
you're
not?
not asking. I mean, for a filmmaker like you, not to know that you must seek clearance or where to get it, I don't think is really proper.
No, you don't. So it should be confusing. That's the word you should use, Andy. It should be confusing that I've been doing film since 2016. I'm very young. Socrates is a pioneer. In our generation, let me just
I
call
love
that he's a
you.
pioneer.
We are the same.
No, come on. It will be a great disrespect on
No.
my side.
Me and you.
See you as a Koiko. Learn from you. For you more inspired us
Stop that.
with
It's okay,
doing film. So
No, don't be too modest.
Oh, Master
Hey,
Jan.
no, but say you're fun too. I mean, he showed you some
Oh, just like
reverence.
you. Just like you.
That's why we are in your bra.
Debbie.
Andy, if you are moving from Ghana right now to go and film in America, and you want to know what you should do as an international filmmaker or foreign filmmaker, it is available for you to
Online.
find out. Do you get my point?
You are 100%
so it means
right
that
on
the
that.
information is there, but you are not making it available. Why are you not making it
Right,
available?
right.
Is it that it is not usable at this moment? It is not ready for use. You get my point? That is what I'm trying to say. That it looks like people have ideas, have some thoughts of how things should be operationalized,
They are all documented.
but they have not.
But they need to be documented. So
they are there. They are documented.
They have not laid
You
it out
just
and
said they
said
are
that
not
this is what
documented.
Wait.
you need to be.
I think all of
I'm
these
not
informations must be online.
Yes.
They must be
Good.
readily
Available.
so that someone in Kuwait who wants to come to Ghana and say, in my country, I cannot demonstrate alcohol openly, but when I go to Ghana, I need to do it openly because of the script. But how can that be done? He has no family member here. He has no one to contact.
Thank you.
So he can easily go on the internet and read it. I understand what Peter is saying. and
I
so
beg
we-
you. I also understand what he's saying, but I want us to situate it in the right context. The topic is the Ghanaian film industry, how to
Revive it.
Do you understand? It tells you that we were having challenges in the past. Some of the things that you are complaining of, it's not as if they were not there. But how have we managed it? That one is where I will agree with you on that. That as we move on, now we have internet, let's put it there. Let's advertise it. That is how come we were fighting for something like the film authority. Time passed when we started fighting for this film authority. It was because we were having challenges. Do you understand? So we said, oh, when the film authority comes, this is what we are going to do. And it has been all these years. The Film Authority has been there for almost 20 years now until now. So these are some of the things I think they need to work on as soon as possible. They need to work on. It's not as if they were not there. They were there. But the way they were being managed, one, in terms of even personnel who were even handling it at that Ministry of Information, do they have enough resources? Do they have enough personnel to even monitor, go around the sets with them as required by in the law? No. So now that we have a dedicated office, these are some of the things we must push them to work on. So to say that it's not there, my brother, is there, but it's not being managed well. So as part of the recommendations, they need to do some of these things.
Do you agree?
I mean, the fact that there's an NFA to make sure that these things are put right in our faces and for us to work according to them, I agree with. As to whether they have been there before and we all know that they are there, it's a different question that we can find answers to.
Is it? You going on break?
No. Go ahead, please.
Andy, one of the biggest challenges I would say is affecting the industry now is lack of orientation. I'll keep saying it. Lack of orientation for we, the filmmakers. The entry point for us was so loose. Unlike, let's say, advanced countries like Hollywood and all that. They also started from the same loose ends. But they were smart enough to put the controls in, and it's helped them. But we came in, and as much as some of us tried to put in some of the regulations, we faced stiff opposition from even some of the people who were supposed to help guide it. So everybody just jump. Today, I'm a filmmaker. I go on set today as a PA. Tomorrow, I call some of the cast, some of the crew, and get a camera, and we're also shooting. Without any orientation, knowing what to do, what not to do, and when they finish distributing or disseminating the content is also another problem.
Andy, okay, sorry. Okay, you finish.
So it looks like unregulated system. And the least attempt you do to regulate it, you face stiff opposition from some of the leaders, your own colleagues that you sit with, and you try to work things out. Today, we are facing challenges with distribution. I remember we started talking about channel of distribution years ago, over 10 years ago. And I'll always give credit to somebody like Richard Kwote, Bukum Lion.
No.
He started pushing for system channel of distribution. I remember. And among some of us as even 5-pack leaders, some of them were Charlie, let's kick against it. Today, it is a problem. And I will always give credit to him. Because he started by saying, look, we are producing, yes, people are buying today, but there is no structured channel of distribution. So let's look at it. Here we are today. It is the biggest, how do you call it? Should I say catastrophe? That has hit the industry.
All right. So,
Andy,
no, sorry about that. Let me step in again. Let's invite George Bosompim on the show. George is a producer, director, lecturer at NAFTI. And
He should have been in the studio.
Yes. Well, we all don't know the reason he couldn't make it. Mr. Bosompim, good morning and many thanks. Hello, George. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear him?
I can hear, but it's very low.
It's very low. I can hear you, but it's very low.
Okay.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
George?
Well, I've been following what you guys have been talking about anyway.
The same vaccine was administered to millions.
Hello? Okay. Okay,
All
so,
right, so-
well, I
so-
can hear you. It's very unfortunate. But,
Good.
George, I'm very sure you've been listening to our conversation, right?
Yes, I've been listening to it. It's very interesting.
Okay, so, George, we're discussing the revival of the Ghana movie industry.
Yes.
I felt like it's in a comatose state, but not dead. as a lot of people perceive? First of
Achi
all,
Abatemuye, Achi
do you
Abatemuye.
think it's in a comatose state or it is dead?
Achi Abatemuye.
Okay, right. So Achiana Semuye, that's all right. So we're
Okay, I
discussing
think I would want to
challenges
make
in the past,
comment
and now
about what
moving
they
forward,
said so far.
what do you think can be
Especially
done
with
to revive the industry?
Okay, especially with what Peter said and those things. Honestly, I wouldn't blame him because some of these things, when you're initiated into the industry, those that you sit at their feet, basically, what we used to do is that, for instance, I would go to somebody like I'll go to somebody like Socrates, when I've finished from school, I'll go and practice with him. And then he teach me all these rudiments. Now on the street things, and the laws and the regulations and all those things, I learned from him. That's how it works. You understand? We don't, at our time, we didn't have it in any written form that anybody has given to you. But you realize that those who are already in there know all these regulations and they teach you. So they pass it on from generation to generation. That's how it works out. But at a point in time, there's that gap between the old and the new. And that gap has created all these things where they don't know even about clients and all this. Because me, 10 years ago, I brought people in here to come and do Amazing Race. When they did that reality thing, 2 episodes in Ghana, we took them through all these processes because you have to do this re-importation and all that. The equipment they brought, they have to take it back and all those kind of things. And so we went for clearance and all those things, third assemblies, wherever you're using and all that. So these things have been in existence many years. And it was under the Ministry of Information. Of course, he doesn't know because that kind of system that we used to have, we are not practicing it anymore. When somebody leaves school, he's a champion on his own. So he just takes his camera, he's going to do his work. And they don't go and sit that kind of apprenticeship that we used to do at first. It's no more there. Just a few people go through that kind of apprenticeship. So we can forgive him for that. What I want to talk about is going forward. What do we have to do? The National Film Authority have to focus. We are very, very, very how do you call it? We are lucky to have a very good law that directs us what we should do. So, for instance, the classification, which is part of the title of the law, they've got a classification committee, which Mr. Sokrisafo is the chair. What is happening? That's small wrangling and people thinking that, instead of doing it in a collective way, I should champion the thing and let it make like it is just me. They should stop. That's our biggest thing. Because that collective thing, we all know that collective thing has brought about the law. We just took a few people together, came together and said, look, let's not let this thing stay beyond the 20 years that has stayed. And we went forward and got this law and the National Film Authority to be formed. But what is happening to the National Film Authority? They just do one thing that is in the law, then they go out and they do things that are not in the law. Well, the thing is a fresh institution. So we need to build the institutional structure. Where are the administrative structure of the National Film Authority? Where are the committees that are supposed to help? Like, for instance, the certification and the licensing committee. Where is the film fund? Those are the things they have to concentrate on. They are doing things that are more of like an event. And they're not event organizers. They're doing PR things that people come and talk, and then they'll make so much noise about it, and the next moment it is gone. You say you're going to name the industry. In the law, the name is there. Is it what we need at this moment? People need money to make films. And instead of creating the fund, you're going to name an industry. For what? Even you don't even have an office. Where you lay your head, you don't even have it. So these are the things that we have to look at. And these are not things that are, so difficult to do. Why? Because some people started it and handed it over to you. The direction is there. Where is our phone policy? I remember Peter mentioned that when you go on the net, you can Google and get some. It is because we don't have a phone policy. If you had a phone policy, it goes through Parliament. It will automatically come on the net because the Parliament has this thing, has a website. It will be there. So when you Google, you get it. You understand? We don't have a phone policy. We don't. It's more like people are appointed, they get to the place, and they think that they are the only people who have ideas, and that the collective's idea, which is bound by the law, shouldn't exist anymore. And now what they think, they can do it and just go, because they've been appointed. You see? And that's very dangerous for all of us. Because the stakeholders are come together, they know what they want, to the point that they even went to the Ministry of Finance to go and get financing for this National Film Authority. And they presented, you see, you can't go and talk to the politician without any idea. You have to go with your policy, your kind of direction that you want to go. And we plan that whole thing, long term, short term, and medium term. And we submitted all those things to them, and they gave us the budget. And that's why the NFA came into being. And so if you can't look at what is there and the documentation that we use, not like it's somebody's hiding it anywhere. We came officially to hand it over to you, and you're not following it, and you want to do just what you want. And then we have all these kind of problems. You understand? And so when the stakeholders start coming at you, then you can't like, oh, we are just talking because we are not in power, we are not in this, we are not in that. And some people can even come to the point to cut insinuation and say that some people were just mortar careers and they build a Bank of Ghana. You can build a Bank of Ghana, but you cannot be a governor.
Okay,
George.
Hello, George.
Yeah.
So all of these things you are talking about, long term, short term, medium term, the likes of Kumawood and their small industry, they're producing movies day in, day out. What does the NFA and all of these things you're talking about got to do with them? Do they really care? From Kakra, do you think they really care about this? And even if they do, how will they help them?
They care. I've gone there to do a workshop with the 5-pack in Kumasi. They care. There are some of the things that have been written in our LI. Look, even our LI have not been passed. Ask Asafo what we have gone through to get the LI ready. And it's still not been passed. Why? Because somebody is not moving it to the next level. My point is that even the LI, do you know that they contributed more than people in Accra? Because when you call for stakeholder meetings in Accra, they don't even turn up. Kumasi, they come out in their numbers. And some of the things that are in the law, they propose it. So they care. They know what is going on with their industry. For instance, they were complaining about ownership in terms of authorship. When they have done the films in Ghana and they are going to be distributed outside the country, when it's going outside, then the producers will take their names off, the director's name off, and put their names there. All these things are things that they said in those meetings, and we captured them. So it's not that they don't care. They know. They know why, but the industry is not the same anymore. Go to Kumasi. It's gone down. It's gone down. And so they know how to fix it. The industry people know how to fix it. They documented it. And we handed it over to the National Film Authority. What are they doing with that document? That's all I'm worried about. Because it's not like we don't know. If we didn't have any idea of where we are going to, the ministry would not even have listened to us. The ministry listened to us. They made us form a film tax team, to work on our airline and all those things. And we did all those things for the industry. After that, we handed it over to the NFA. Where is it? Why are they going? Why wouldn't they want to just look at the roadmap and say that let's just do these things? But the things that Peter is talking about and all those things, they are not there. And there's a law to back you. Well, then you go and do something like a content committee, which has its own basic law from the broadcast bill, which is not under our ministry. Why would you want to do that? Because of personal reasons or ego and that? Why are we doing that to ourselves? Why are we wasting our time? The thing is black and white. Let's just go and follow it and do it. And there's a law backing you. What again? It's sad, man. Very, very sad.
All right. Well, so thank you very much for talking to us, George. Would you want to ask him a question? I should let him go. All right, that's fine. All right, George, many thanks for your time. I'm so grateful. I'll contact you again whenever I need any much more comments.
Execution of the thing. They don't care about that. They care about other things that would not bring us success. That's where the problem is.
All right, Josh. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. So great.
I love this song. Anytime we talk film and I see the young ones bashing, this song comes to mind.
Yes, Peter. So you heard George?
Yes, I heard George.
Do you agree with whatever he said?
Yeah, a lot of the things he said. I mean, they are the same things that I'm saying. I keep saying that ideas, intentions are not the same as like. How do I even put it down? Help me with the English. Intentions are not actions. You get my point. If I was entering his FM and then I know that I'm supposed to wash my hand and sanitize, and then you go to put the sanitizer at the back of the building, and I'm supposed to use the entrance, how would I even know that the sanitizer at the back of the building? But when I get there and I see the bowl and the sanitizer, I'll wash my hand and sanitize before entering. That's the point. If you go to the Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Creative Arts right now, and you want to find out how many tourist sites we have in Ghana, they'll pull a list for you. If you want to find out how many hotels we have in Ghana right now, they'll pull out a list for you. That means that there's an industry there that is fully recognized and operational. When you ask the same ministry, how many film production houses do you have in Ghana? Active, they can pull a list for you. It's not that the NFA is trying to get set lists and they put out some questionnaires, some forms for us to fill and register our production houses. And so when I'm telling you that A lot of things are missing. People are at this point just jumping on set and doing their own thing the way they want to, but not based on certain laid down standards or procedures or regulations. I don't think I'm far from the truth.
Okay.
Okay, Uncle Zog.
Way forward.
You see, okay, so no, I want you to comment on what George said before we move.
Oh, I understand where George is coming from, and I think he's speaking from a lot of pain in the sense that.
But do you agree with him, though?
To some extent, yes. You remember, I came out and I made a statement which a lot of people who don't understand start bashing me. I said we can fix the challenges of this whole industry in 24 hours. Yes. 24 hours.
With what?
With what? We know the problems. We created the problems.
No, with what? So,
I'm answering.
Oh, no, yes.
I said all the challenges.
Do you know the reason I'm asking?
Why?
Because, again, I'll use someone who's in Iraq or someone in Czechoslovakia wants to come down and shoot. And the person chances on my radio show and is listening to you talking about challenges you have in your country. Then you come up with a solution that, it can be solved within 24 hours. Yeah. Now I sit back and fold my arms, waiting patiently to know what can be done or what incorporates that or what brings about the solution. And you tell me.
Oh, you ask a question. I said 24 hours.
That's what I'm asking.
And I started explaining.
I'm eager to know.
And then you cut in.
So please, let us know what happens. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And I'm saying that, one, we know the problems because we created them. And it would just take one meeting for us to sit down and decide that all the ideas, all the solutions and everything that we've discussed in the past, from this date, first March, we are implementing them. Everything will go back to factory mode. Just 24 hours. When we have that meeting and we agree that henceforth we are doing this, because we've started discussing this. This is not the first time we are discussing, and we all know the problems, where it started from, how it started, and what we are supposed to do. If you listen to George, I understand what he's saying, because all this while we've discussed all these problems already. We've had series of meetings. We know how it all started, how the market collapsed, how indiscipline started, and all that in the industry. We know. And we know what to do. We've discussed all of them. So it's just about one day we sitting down and saying that, problem one, this is it. This is what we are supposed to do. A, B, C, D. This is what we agreed to do. Problem two, this is what we agreed to do. We come with all the suggestions we've proposed already, and we implement them. Just one day. And if it is first March or 6th March, we have that meeting, and on the 7th, we are supposed to start, because all the recommendations comes with its, should I say punishment? Yes, its punishment. It's there. So everybody will abide by it. Talk of distribution. Some time back, we were even regulating distribution in this country because we have over supply. We came out with this. One day, we agreed that we are from this date, we are starting. I remember, Miracle, Kwesinya Miche, a date was given that a particular first, we agree on 1st February. Incidentally, the 1st February fell on Tuesday. And he said he wanted to bring his film on the last day because we were releasing on Mondays. And he said, the 1st February is Tuesday. So he will bring it on January, 31st January. We said, no way. Once we said 1st February, it's 1st February. We went to his shop. Nobody entered that shop. Do you understand? We made sure that 1st February is 1st February. Whatever he did, we stopped it until 1st February. In Ghana, we regulate it. So all these problems we are talking about and going back and forth, we thought that when we have the NFA, we will hand the, the baton and everything to the NFA to start implementing it. We can only do that if the NFA calls us. Do you understand? And say that, okay, this is it. When are we doing it? When are we doing that? So the expectation on the NFA was so huge.
What does it take for the NFA to invite you or to meet with you?
It's a question. So quick.
Me?
Yeah.
It will take the NFA to invite us.
What would it
But
take?
it's been over a year now.
What would it take?
It will take the NFA to
Is there
invite
any
us.
petition? Is there any request?
Petition?
Is there any requests
No,
for?
but George was saying that all these things have been planned already before even the coming into being of the NFA. Do you understand? There was a committee that was set up and they did the planning. It includes all these things. So they were hoping that when they start work, they
It will
will go
involve
by
you.
that, how do you call it, whatever has been laid down over a long period. Do you understand? But when it started, they were sitting somewhere waiting. The NFA is also sitting somewhere, and there was total confusion. It's been how many years? Over a year.
I mean,
Nothing has happened.
I mean, Andy, the NFA, not to hold brief for them, I think that they are working, they are trying their best and they are working. The only thing I say is that their communication is not up to task, because sometimes you want to be informed and know that things are happening. I served on one of their committees, the local content committee, and we drafted the local content policy, and we are done with our work. We've handed it over to the ministry. Other committees have also met and then decided on certain things and handed it over. So together they are putting up some documents that will now be a fully fledged thing that they can.
Do you need to
operationalize.
reinvent the wheel?
Oh, I don't know what has been
Well,
going on. I'm
if-
just
if-
telling you
if-
what I know.
well,
So
if-
you
if there
see,
need
I'm
be-
telling you what I know, but I'm just saying that. I mean, they know, Socrates and George know better than I do. But I'm just saying that even from what I've been seeing and hearing from other colleagues, it looks like they are working. But I'm just saying their communication, because some of us are very desperate. We want to know that something is happening. Someone has got our back. NFA that we all championed or shouted for has not been created. We want to know that they are working in our interest, so they should be communicating to us. I've said this several times, even to the leadership, that they need to be communicating to us. Let us know what is happening. At least if this kind of dark side of the NFA, as in not communicating to us, is resolved, we can also be following and be giving them our support and not be giving them
Well,
unnecessary support
okay.
pressure.
I think the NFA, the little I know about where we've come from and where we are, will have had the easiest job if it had done the right consultation. Easiest job in implement or resolving the challenges of the industry. The easiest. Because everything has been done already. Documents and all that has been done already.
By the NFA?
No, by the stockholders who were propelling it, because we've had series of meetings. I remember we went to Akosombo for 3 days. We went to Akosombo for 3 days. We talked about channel of distribution and even how the entry point for the industry. You know what we did? We proposed that in terms of industry associations, we should have categories of membership. Gold members, that is those who have been in for between 15 years upwards. They are gold members. Silver members, you know about that. Silver members, 10 years. Bronze members, 5 years. Now, if you are coming into the industry, before you will be accepted, you, Peter, will pick a gold member. As a new entrant, you pick a gold member, and he will be your mentor. He is not going to control you or whatever, but you have a script. If you check the script and it's a good script, fine. You need artists. He will lead you and get you all the good artists in the industry. Because he's a gold member and the artist also knows him, he can go and negotiate on your behalf. Get you a good, crew through the Film Crew Association. Get you a director and then see through the production for you. Do you understand? So the production at least will have a minimum standard. Unlike the fact that somebody wants to be a producer from anywhere, gets up and then he calls his friends and they shoot something, come and dump it on the market. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And if you are not being guided by this, it will be difficult for you to get even a distribution.
Yeah. Which we don't even have in Ghana here.
We have the Film Distributors Association.
We had or we have? No,
We had.
okay.
So where is it now?
because of the loose ends and how we look on the channel of distribution collapsed. They have also collapsed because they are also
That's exactly what
businessmen.
Peter is saying.
I said,
That's what Peter said.
wait, my brother. I said these were the problems. We all sat down, we planned all this. Do you understand? So at best, we will have people who an entry point for the industry.
So, Socrates, now that we don't have an we don't have a
Say
distribution,
they don't have an industry.
we don't have I would say an industry. No, Peter. I won't say that. I don't want someone to go sit somewhere and say, hey, Andy Dusty just mentioned that we don't have an industry.
So Peter said it and this is
I'm
supported.
sorry, I never said that. Please, you mentioned that we don't have an industry. Mention your name. That Peter said Ufia.
Okay.
Good. But now that we don't have a distribution
Yes.
company or agency or any other point to distribute, how do we move on?
How do we move on? We need to go back to the drawing board. We went to Kwau, Rock City Hotel for 3 days again. We look at how to revive the distribution chain. Do you understand? For 3 days we were there, Rock City. And we have the documents at hand. Talk to Frank, your own Frank. He will give you that document. How to revive. And it is the first step we need to revive the whole chain again. Do you understand? What were the challenges of distribution by then? Record keeping. You go and give your film to a distributor and he cannot give you proper records. So now it is not all play all again. We should have regulated distributors and they have a minimum requirement in terms of, let's say, a data. You go there, the person should have a laptop or a computer that can key in how many copies of a film you have brought or whatever, if pen drive or
How many
whatever.
have been sold?
How many have been
When,
sold?
how,
yes.
where?
The person, this thing can easily be done. Do you understand?
But,
so we got a software that we are ready to even give it to them.
Okay, but it's okay. Now let's also consider the rise of COVID.
Please don't bring it in. We are talking now. I beg you. If you bring in this COVID
I
thing,
think it's connecting it to the
it will throw it.
Please, so great. Where I sit. I see a wind blowing from your back. You are looking at me. Now you're looking at your back. Now you're looking at your back. No, the rise of COVID. I'm very sure we all know it has affected a lot of things, including distribution, including even production itself.
But the distribution collapsed before COVID.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Now that there is COVID, because it has become some sort of lifestyle. I'm very sure even when COVID leaves, some of us will still be wearing masks.
Yeah.
Because people feel very comfortable with it. Because if I've always had problems with my lips. And to avoid people looking at my lips, and now
You,
that
Andy?
no, I'm making an example.
okay.
Oh, but me, seriously, I've had issues with my lips.
I've not paid attention.
A lot of people look at his red lips. And red lips, some are saying it's
He's
nice.
sexy. Ask the girls.
We are going for a commercial break.
Challenge the girls now. They like the red lips. So.
What has red lips got to do with women?
Ah.
What are they? Ria, what do you do with it?
Morning, Andy. How are you doing this morning?
Ubi cancer. So, yes, looking at COVID.
No, I mean, I like soft lips. I don't know about red lips.
You'll be in a moment where you go and touch the lips and see how soft or hard it is.
Well,
Like mine.
By the time you know it's up there, and then you have committed already.
So, yeah, you nearly derailed my thoughts. But, yeah, so COVID, it has affected it. How do we adjust? Must there be a way, or must we improvise that, okay, instead of going to distribution agencies or getting distributors, shall we come up with ideas to get it to the people? Don't you think that would be the best way?
Like,
no, I'm asking because I don't know. You are in.
Making an open
conversation. Because if you talk of streaming, how should we regulate streaming? It's also a form of distribution. It's coming up. The other day I told you it's not ripe yet, but it's coming up. Everybody is sitting back looking on. Do you understand? Without regulations, Peter goes, get somebody, have a deal with him, and because it's new and the person wants to attract others, gives Peter a good deal. Do you understand? And Peter is excited and dealing with the person. Gets another. Before 2 years' time, Peter, the person who is giving you maybe $50,000 per production and you are excited, the next time you come will give you $5,000 because it is not being regulated by the whole system. Do you understand? So it is up to us to now sit down and say, okay, streaming. How do we regulate streaming? How much should the viewer pay per a stream? Do you understand? What should be the terms and conditions? How many aggregators should we approve for everybody to deal with them? The same applies to even the brick and mortar distribution. That, like I said, a distributor should have basic requirements like a laptop, a software, and something that you can, a bank account that we all know that this is your bank. Every day you are supposed to, how do you call it, bank or save whatever sales you've done. Because one of the challenges we were having is that these people were not even keeping some of their monies in banks. They take your money and give it to producer B. And then they take producer B's money and give it to, because they want more producers to produce for them. So when you go for your money, it becomes a problem because producer B, who has your money, has not even finished production. So until he will finish and he will bring the film for him to sell and make the money and give it to you, it becomes a problem. And if that film didn't sell, that means it's a loss for you too. We've gone through all these challenges. Like I'm saying, we know the problems. We know that we've gone through it. So if you talk distribution right now, I will give you all the problems, how it started, where we are, what we are to do to fix it.
So I'm looking at fixing it.
So
Peter,
fixing it, we don't need one. Let me give you a history. The distribution was being done at Opera,
Right.
and it was working. And it became the envy of many film producers across the world. When I say across the world, I mean across the world. We go to international festivals and they ask us, how are we able to produce that many films? And then you give them the system we have here, that I finish my film, I'm able to sell direct to the public, and they are like, wow, this is what we're looking for. Because elsewhere, they don't have that system. So you finish a film and all you have is to go through a structure like distribution system where they will show in the cinemas when you finish, it's done. And the cinemas are not being controlled by the producer. So the only way of the producer getting his film to the public is through that cinema distribution chain. So when you tell them that we have devised a system where we are selling the CDs to the people direct and the amount of money you can make, they are like, oh, okay, we will like it. That's compelled Burkina Faso to bus their filmmakers to Ghana to come and study what we are doing here. A whole bus full of filmmakers from Burkina Faso. They came down, they went to Opera, they went to Kumasi to study it. Because all a filmmaker wants is that the film must get to the people. And when we devised this means, they were excited. But what did we do? We didn't control it well. Now, at Opera, we have the Katamanto people who also wanted to come into the business because they realized that people are buying more films. They were selling music at Katamanto. So those who come and buy them in the mornings, they go to Katamanto first. When they buy their music, then they come to Opera and buy films.
Right, I understand all the history you're giving. I'm looking at the way forward.
If you don't know the problem, how will you move forward?
That's what I'm saying. I told you that let's move
and
forward.
And the forward is that I've told you now, we don't need that many distributors.
So what do? We
need only a few, about 4 or 5. Do you understand? Make sure that they are well equipped.
Okay.
Because when we had only a few, we were able to control it.
Right.
Until that many people came on, you go to Katamanto, everybody is a distributor at Katamanto. So one film, if you bring out maybe 20,000 copies today, you are going to distribute it to so many people. And they are all going to sell small. And when they sell that money, when they sell that small amount for you, it is just like one person have sold all. But your money has been spread. Collecting them becomes an issue because they must also feed themselves first before they think about giving you your money.
Right. I'll let Ria and Ernest come in. But Peter, do you also share what he's saying? Do you agree? Do you think that's the best thing to do?
I think that, Andy, we need to also encourage people to take up the job of the distributors, okay? And the truth is that a lot of the Ghanaian films that are currently on international platform or outside the country right now are distributed by non-Ghanaians. Non-Ghanaians, they're like South Africa, Nigeria, and things like that. And even when you come to Ghana here, when someone releases a film and they want to premiere, it's the director or the producer that are even in charge of the premiere. But if you go to our neighbors, you have a distributor taking care of even the premiere. So you have a film that is made by an independent company, but Ebony Life has taken it, or Silverbird has taken the film, and they're taking care of the advertising and everything. And they premiere the film. But can I hear it? Someone else will hear a film. And so why we are called premiere? That's why I'm telling you that thing where that practice of an industry in terms of film is what we don't have. So if you are moving on, and we say that we are drafting policies and things like that, let's also make sure that we have an avenue that the producers and the distributors also take up that other challenge of.
We were getting there until it collapsed.
We
were getting there.
Something collapse is not there, is that not it?
Yeah,
okay.
I said we were getting there.
So I mean, I'm good at the end of the whole thing. We have come to the point. I'm saying that the thing is not there. So if it has collapsed,
if something collapsed, that doesn't mean it's not there. It has collapsed.
If your building collapses, is it still there?
Yes, it's there.
Oh,
this used to be.
You don't call it a building, you call it a land.
Thank you.
Once the land is there.
So
I'm saying
it's just pathetic. Like what I've just told you right now, and I'm being honest. All the films that are outside Ghana are not distributed by Ghanaians, and it's so sad that our own people do not see that this film is worth taking outside the country. It's not that they don't see, they see it, but they don't have the means, they don't have the connects.
When you say connect, what do you mean? The Ghanaian producer don't have the connect to.
There are people that wish they like the film. They're like, oh, this film with the Minyanka, but whom to contact, how to even go and pitch it. I'm sure that you may have some contacts. So if you decided to be a distributor right now, and I give you a film, it's okay. If I give you a film right now as a distributor, I'm sure you will know whom to pitch it to.
No, I don't know.
So it means that you also don't have connect. That's why you may not. So it's just the same point I'm making, that a lot of them think that they don't have the connect, or they don't have the financial means, or they are not convinced that if they pick up this film, it's going to make the sale they expect.
Which is normal.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. That how do we, people are the frontiers? Mm-hmm. How do we allay that fear? What are we doing to make them feel that this is a safe venture? Invest in.
Let me ask you something, Peter. Even with all these COVID, with the pandemic and all, you are still working. You just mentioned that in March you had plans of releasing a movie, but because of COVID you cannot.
I didn't even shoot at all.
Oh, you couldn't even shoot.
Yeah, I didn't shoot.
Right, but last year you released a movie, right?
I released a movie just before the COVID, like a week after now the COVID came.
But COVID has been around.
That means you brought the COVID.
Is that no? So I released a film on 6th March. I released a film on 6th March. Following this thing there, then they know that it came even. They decided to.
Which was it the blue and yellow movie?
Yeah, aloe vera.
Aloe vera. Okay.
Yes, and not. I think last week inside my distributor, he's a South African. Okay, so South African.
So now we're getting there, because I wanted to ask you who distributed it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have two distributors, one from Mauritius and then one from South Africa. So Omi and Pakitwa, but you know, so just within the COVID, because I've not been actively filming, because of course I don't know when the cinemas are going to be open. So he sent me an email of like my sales report that okay, this is what the film has made online for the period of this month. And I was happy. If I had not had that distribution deal, and this thing happened, it's happened. I'm just there until it's gone, and by the time it even goes, I'm done spending every money that I have on me, and I cannot.
Okay, these two distributors, one in South Africa, one in Mauritius.
Yes.
All of these distributors are marketing for you online.
Yeah, they are selling to pay TV, like VOD, SVOD.
Right. So there's nothing like physical, like
no DVD. No, the DVD thing is not. No, the DVD we want to do, but you see, the moment you do, if you buy, Amma buys the DVD. If so, she will watch it and give to her friend to watch. That is fine. Or gives another friend to watch. That's even they will copy on pen drive and be watching it on their computer. That's fine. But they're going to put it on YouTube.
To be making money of it.
And then now nobody
That is where the NFA should now go to YouTube, make a case for the Ghanaian film industry to clean it for us.
Also, as a filmmaker, if you sit on radio and ask the NFA to go to YouTube and clean it for you, you are saying it in vacuum. Don't you think it would be appropriate to get your colleagues and meet with them? I think that's the right
and
thing.
meet
My
with who?
film.
My
Meet
film.
with- I'm coming.
with the NFA.
But we have reps. We have a board made up of our reps on the NFA. So they speak for us on the NFA.
Have they made any attempt?
They told us that they've been telling us that they are making attempts.
My film.
you followed up?
My film.
I'm supposed to, after appointing you to go there, I should follow up again.
Of course
Andy,
you must.
And
And my film went on one channel, Kunga TV. It's also an online something. After it went, those two films went on that channel. I mean, I hardly try to give my film to just anybody, so it will not even be online. And when you went on that online platform, the next 2 days, some people send me links that it's on YouTube. It means that they raped it from there, they pirated it from there and put it on YouTube. And then I also shared the link with my distributor. Within 24 hours, the things were taken down. And then the next one happened again. And I said, so people are also very courteous, like they are very kind. When they see you, they send it to you. When they send, I push it to my distributor. This is what I've noticed. Please take action. After this thing, they sent me the action report that it has been taken down. So now I'm sure that people are not uploading on YouTube. But Niger Rocks and things, some of them, it's even hard to even get to them to say pull it down. And so, but that's the danger of the online streaming platform. That's why you go to a certain channel with a distributor to exhaust all the primary channels to make your money before it even goes online. Because when it goes there, nobody will want to come to the cinema to see a film that's already online.
Well,
And
we
you
have
lose
just
money.
about 6 minutes to the end of this discussion. Let me read these comments quickly before Ria comes in. Eddie Benetton says, Senior Andy Dusty, please ask them about this kind of telenovela series showing on our TV channels. What are going to be done about it? It's also part of the collapse of Ghana movie industry, Charlie. Shaking my head. Crispy K says, Big man, lifestyle and bureaucracy is disturbing every system in Ghana. Stakeholders are waiting for NFA to make contact. NFA is also sitting waiting for them to come over. And everyone is now a spectator watching who makes a move into that bang. Oji Wangana says, good morning, Andy. This our film industry has a lot to do. And it's like anything about them is not interesting. Eagle 7 says, I agree with Peter Sedufia on some things he said, but I disagree with him that we don't have an industry. We are privately driven, so individuals form the industry. The structures are absent, which is obvious. Anyway, when is Aloe Vera coming on Netflix? Yes, when is it coming? Because I've been waiting.
So we are trying to do a re-release. We've held on to, because I told you the film was just 1 week old. And so we've taken a strategic decision that we are holding on with any other release and then do a re-release before we take it onto other platforms.
Right.
when are you showing it on TV?
That should be in like 3-4 years time.
You don't
That's the
chop.
last, that's
you
the
don't
last
chop.
option.
Kwaguskanti says, I really like the way Mr. Safo is going about the conversation. The movie industry is not dead, but the leaders must do the right thing, especially reduce a purchase of foreign movie and invest the money into our local movies. And must be done well for consumption. Okay. Sadiq, our very own Sadiq says, Memena, the same lips that has been killing the woman, my friend, come on for that.
Read.
No, I won't read.
Oh, no.
No, Sadiq,
They're interested.
Sadiq, you be crazy. Instead of you coming here, you are somewhere sending messages. Okay, so, yeah, Ria, please come in.
Yes, Andy, thank you. I just want to start by saying that everybody here knows that I'm a professional actress, and these issues really, I'm very, very passionate about them. And I must say that just recently, ever since we graduated from film school or School of Performing Arts, I must say it looks like the industry has failed us a bit, because some of us went against our parents' will to study acting, and then we come out and this is what is happening. I must say that one thing I would say is that this unity thing that we are talking about in the industry, it also pertains to the in the music industry. Actually, also pertains to the movie industry. And are you guys listening to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
President is taking the job, so
Yes.
No, but
So
go ahead. Yeah.
it also pertains to the movie industry because, I mean, it is no secret that since you people have sat here the whole day, you've been button heads. You don't agree with some things that Socrates says.
I think that's not a disagreement per se. It's like you're all wanting one thing.
You all want one thing, but you have different approaches.
Exactly.
And if you have different approaches, it is hard for people to take you people seriously. Honestly. Yeah, they have different approaches. I mean, I'll be honestly, the whole time I've been sitting here, I've been like, okay, so what are they saying? The man, Mr. Busompim, was ranting about something else. You were also, telling
So it's
Socrates.
more like going for a board meeting and then there's the board chair.
Yeah.
And then all the members will share their
Until you
ideas,
present a
and the
united
board
front
chair
that's
will
okay, now we've agreed on
say, okay,
this
this is
one
what we agree.
approach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And this is how we are going to do it.
I beg you, help us because we may. What have we said differently from?
I'm
each
not
other?
saying that you are saying you're saying different things. I'm saying that you all have one ultimate goal.
Yes.
Okay, but you are talking about something about one distribution, and I asked you about you following up, and you saying that you do not want to do somebody's job for the person, right? Isn't that what you said?
I said
You are like, should I follow up when I have employed you
Yeah.
to do it?
Yeah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
what did he
I
say? Did
feel
he say
like
something different?
I'm not saying that you are saying like you are fighting with him against like one goal. I'm saying that
Why will
you
somebody
have
not take a
different
not take a
approaches.
serious this conversation?
No, because I'm saying that until you get into one common goal, like okay, this
But I
is
think
the
we have a
approach.
common goal here.
No, this is one approach. This is the approach we are going to take. Everybody has the same approach because
But that would be
you.
difficult for us to have the same approach. Otherwise,
Okay,
there will not be
you know what?
divergent input. That's what I was
Okay,
giving the
okay,
example
okay,
of the board chair and then the board members.
No
They all
problem.
share ideas, but they finally put all those.
You know
different
what?
ideas
I
and say,
just-
okay, this is
Because
now
I
the
think
way
that
to go.
from what even Socrates was saying, there are some issues that has taken like a longer lifespan, like 10 years, and it's still the same issues that you people are dealing with. I just hope that you give us hope and you deal with such issues because it doesn't look like we are always talking about it. I mean, that's my problem. We have to move
Sister,
and do
sister,
something.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
that-
sister.
Yes,
You also
and
want the
you were also talking about YouTube. Okay, why don't you also monetize your own things and put it? Because if
Will we
you've
make the
done.
money?
Do you know
Wait,
how many
wait.
views it takes to get?
Can I land? Can I land,
$1?
please? Can I land?
Okay, land.
You know about Red TV, right?
Yes.
The producers of the Men's Club. You know about Indani TV, right?
Yes.
Where do we get their stuff to watch? We get it on YouTube, and they found a way to monetize it, and people get it from their outlets only on YouTube. I go onto my phone and I get Men's Club. So far as I have data, I am going to get the Men's Club on YouTube.
Is it a series or?
It is a series.
Oh, no.
It's not. Oh, why would they have pornography
Oh, I'm
on
asking. Hey,
YouTube?
Andy, are you
They
okay?
don't have.
no, why are you asking me that question? I mean, the way it's a men's club.
No.
Why should men's club be a porno?
Yes, and
Oh,
Indani
but so
TV
you
has
go to men's club.
The assistant madams.
Is it a series or TV?
Also series. Do you understand me?
So-
And it is all on
So
YouTube.
can I explain something to you? That if I were to be having a series,
Mhm.
you need to build an audience over time. I cannot build an audience on YouTube with one film.
Right.
I'm not
Get-
saying.
No,
start
no, no,
generating the
I
money
think- I
that-
think- I think you need to listen to what he's
that I
saying.
need to make. But if I have series and I have 200 episodes, by the time I even upload the 30th episode, I should have be having over 100,000 subscribers.
Right.
to be
Exactly.
doing the thing, to be making
Exactly.
money.
But
So me, if I go and open a new page, aloe vera, YouTube channel, and I put the film there right away, trust me.
but there are
it-
also
it-
movies
It
on
will
it.
take
Yeah,
forever
but
for you to make your
Forever.
return.
And
Well,
you need
I
thousand
think-
views to make $1.
I agree with what he's saying.
Well, from me, coming from as a consumer and also a professional, somewhat a professional in the industry, I'm just bringing up suggestions, because that's all I can do. I mean, you people are the ones who produce the movies. You people are the ones who distribute. You people are the ones who direct. Okay, so these are my suggestions, and I hope that you are also going to take it into consideration.
Socrates. Me and I are on the same page. We're looking at Socrates. We are watching Socrates.
Which
Well,
page are
so
you?
Socrates, as he has
Okay.
thrown the ball to you.
Yes.
Okay,
I
which page am
hope-
I?
I hope-
Where are you and where
hope,
am I?
I hope next year
Mhm.
we won't come and sit here and still be discussing the same problems that you said happened 10 years ago.
Okay.
We want to see an implementation. We
Okay.
want to get jobs.
Okay.
Yes.
We want to ask an actress.
Okay.
I want to be able to come for an audition
Okay.
and use Socrates to say, okay, I don't like the way you acted here, so I'm not going to use
Okay.
you, or I'm going to use you because
Okay.
you are good,
Okay.
and
Want to
put me
direct.
on your movie so that I can also make money. I can also get my endorsement
Peter will
deals
be
and my
directing.
breakthrough from the
Okay.
movies that you people produce.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Now, Sadiq says, well, given the blurred lines of distribution and the changing faces of it, don't you guys think the old distributors should be held to become aggregators, since their old model is hardly commercial viable now? Red TV and Indani is actually bankrolled by the banks, UBA and GT Bank. It's a value-added service platform for the banks that help them to acquire younger audiences. So that model idea for the industry doesn't necessarily surface. Well, have you checked?
You see, my brother, before you jump on something, you must understand what is going on. This is an advice. Many a times you will see somebody doing something and you say, oh, look at Peter, the way he's doing it, I'm also going to do it. You don't know what is behind it. For all you know, Peter may be getting his funding from a source that you don't know.
All right. Uncle Sok, please hold on for me. Let's get on the phone. Veteran actor Abeku Sego. Mr. Sego, many thanks for your time. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. How are you too?
Very well, thank you. It's been a while.
Yes. We did. You know they mind us.
Oh, me and you, but you know.
You have ruled us as old.
I'm your small brother. I'll come. I'll come for my punishment.
You are here.
Nice.
It will be very
So,
soft.
Mr. Sego, do we have a Ghana film industry?
Well, good morning to the listeners. Yes, we have a Ghana film industry. It may not be very vibrant. It may not be. It may not be very lucrative, but there is some form of Ghana film industry.
So, if I heard you right, can I say it is in a comatose state?
Well, the people are moving. I haven't seen the people in the hospital beds. We're moving around. So it's not in a comatose. I mean, as some people would say. I mean, yes, people are doing their best under the circumstances. So it's moving slowly, very slowly, but it's not in the comatose or whatever people want to describe it as.
So it means it has not collapsed yet.
No, I don't think so. I don't
Now,
agree.
so since it hasn't collapsed, then there is hope.
Obviously.
So in this
It
case,
depends-
how do we
depends
revive
on
it,
what
or
we
which
do.
measures can be put in place to revive it?
Yes, I think steps are already being taken to revive it. The Film Act has been passed. The National Film Authority has been established. I think it's about a year now. So some steps are being taken, and therefore, but we need to up our act. You know, it's been very slow. With the coming of the Film Authority, everybody expected that, in view of where we're coming from, things will be expedited. I want to say that they've taken a few steps, but we need to up our act.
When you say we need to up our act,
Yes.
Can you please explain further?
Well, there are some committees that ought to be established by the Film Act, the licensing committee. The classification committee has already been established. And I think that even though this one is not in the Act, but it has always also been established, the content committee.
And then the National Film Authority has also started a pitching series, which is going now. I know that also looking at the possibility of having a brand name for the film industry. It's very easy to identify Nollywood. It's easy to identify Bollywood and all those. The Film Authority believes that we also need a brand name to move the industry forward.
But we had one. Kuma,
there are
can't we all
other things
adapt
that we
it?
need to do. You see, we think that there's no financial support for the industry. But I keep on asking myself that should government say today that they are putting $10 billion into the film industry, what are we going to do with it? Do the same old things? Times have changed completely. I heard your some sound bites when I got linked up. Yes, we need to put lots of structures in place. We need to develop the capacity of people. Are we going to still be doing the Piakum, Bewechikakra things? Are we going to be shooting the same script? I know sometimes I don't want to say we have scripts. Shooting stories in their raw form and think that we're making films. Are we going to do the same camera work? Are we going to do the same light work? The same level of acting? The same things? If we're going to no distribution, nothing, we haven't promoted our industry and all that. Film is a global thing. Whatever you do as a work of art, I'm sure that the aim is to get to the global market. Are we prepared? Are we ready to get into the global market with our films? We haven't done all those things. So, Dusty, when I say that we need to up our act, what I mean is that we need to develop our capacity, both human and structural. We need to look at the market, we need to look at our distribution systems and all that. Otherwise, any money that we put into the industry today will be like fetching water with baskets.
The film industry had been crying for the National Film Act. The bill has been passed. There's the local content committee. Too many committees. Now, even with these bills that have been passed, what are you doing with it?
Well, that's a very important question. I mean, what have we? The classification committee, the last time I checked, they haven't classified even one film. But I watch TV and I see foreign films with the tag. Recently, I think last week or so, I was telling somebody that I watched a film at 2 o'clock on one of the television stations. It was classified as 13. Yet the content is what I would not allow my grandson or granddaughter to watch. Swearing language, gunfire, fighting, and all that. And they have classified us as 13. So people are doing people are doing their own things. So, and as I said, when I checked the classification, nobody has sent any film to the classification committee for classifying because the committee has not been seen, you know. And so, as for the committees, the Act has deleted some committees that must be set up to support the building or the enhancement of the industry. But the resources are lacking. The National Film Authority has been established, but it has not been resourced. I understand that the board members have met for 1 year. They haven't been paid any allowances and all that. So we need to resource it. And it's a government agency. So like any other government agency, it must be resourced to move. That has not been done. You know, now that we have the authority, it's us to start working seriously so that the other things may fall in place.
All right, Mr. Sengo, well, thank you very much for. You want to ask him a question?
No. I mean, I stand accused. I'm the chairman for the film classification committee.
Right. So, Mr. Sengo, I'm in the studio with Socrates Safo, and he says,
okay. I didn't know he was there,
he has
but
accepted what you're saying.
He has
stands
heard me.
accused.
I'm sure he has heard me about the classification committee. probably he will answer to that if he already hasn't. I'll continue listening
No,
to the
I
program.
haven't. We've not discussed the classification committee, the challenges. But let me say, you know me, Socrates Safo. I am not that soft or somebody who takes a job and go to sleep. But I had challenges that I decided to be tactical about it. One, from within, and two, from without. Because one, I started working with all the energy, and like I said, we know what to do. So I took office and I started working, promoting and all that. We even came out to give a date that we were supposed to start. We did all that we could without even resources. But we found an ingenious way to start working for the betterment of the industry. But when I got a complaint from the NFA, I was reported for like doing things on my own and all that. But I was working per the law, what the law says, and my committee, what we were supposed to do. But I was reported. I handled it in a way, and I was advised. So I decided to pull the brakes and wait till the powers that be will be satisfied and do things the way they want it. And that is where I have been ever since. And I've conformed. So if it is not working, it is not me. Me, for the records, I know what I did. I've done a lot. I have been here. Andy, you attest to it. I have promoted it all over. And then when I was reported to my minister, what else can I do? I have to sit back and look on. So if you want to ask any question, you go to the NFA and they will answer you.
Mr. Sego, well, I'm sure you heard Socrates.
Yes, I heard Socrates. Well, I don't disagree with him. I've heard some of those things, some of those bickering and all those kind of things on the authority. I hope that they'll be able to resolve them. I mean, they'll be able to sit down. They are our representatives. The board is made up of reps of the various domains and all that. Socrates himself is an old producer. He's been in the industry for years. So he knows the problem. So if we have put them there, we expect that they will work to help us all come out of the problems in which we find ourselves. I am very optimistic. I'm generally a very optimistic person. So I've not given up. I believe that we can. There are things that we ought to do. One would do them, the industry will rise up again.
All right, Mr. Sego, thank you very much for your time. I'm so grateful, sir.
Thank you, too.
Right. So that was veteran actor Abeku Sego talking to us. Ernest is standing by.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andy.
Right.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm also doing very well. Very, very well. And I'm happy to see the family here.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about movies,
you're one of them.
You know, long time ago in Bethlehem. That was around 99 thereabout. But I concentrated on stage because I loved stage that much. You see, first of all, I don't know how my big brother Socrates would take this. You see,
Be careful.
But I have to be truthful too. You've been given a job, and with the experience you have, so many people have hope in you. As Abeku was saying, that they know that once your name has been mentioned, there will be results. And if nothing works out, they will hang it around your neck.
Yeah, you're right.
You might get another job, but what you are doing today will be part of the testimonial, whether you make it or not. So if somebody somewhere is frustrating your effort to succeed, I would plead, resign. For the sake of your own future.
Best thing for me to do.
Yeah, for the sake of your own future, so that next time if you get an opportunity, somebody wouldn't say that, okay, man, what did he do? You get a point. This is a humble plea, you know. But apart from that, classification board. Let's say I'm a movie producer. I didn't bring my movie for classification. You see my movies out there. What is the board supposed to do? Are they going to arrest the person? Are they going to prosecute the person? Are they going to, does the board have that teeth to bite? You know, these are all problems that we need to look at. If we don't take care, we will give portfolios.
Have you seen the law?
I've not read through
okay.
it that much. No, the law is there, but the implementation is where my problem is. We have a lot of laws in Ghana that we don't implement. So let's say you go to the police station. Okay, there is this person. He was supposed to bring his movie, and he didn't bring the movie, and I've seen the movie on TV. If you don't take it, they'll even laugh at you. Because the problems we have in this country, some of these things are seen as menial, even though these are the very things that shape the moral fabric of the society. Without forgetting that what the children are watching is what shapes their mentality, especially at the formative
Andy,
stages.
I sent you a video about a boy who hanged himself.
Unfortunately,
Check. I've sent it to you.
Right now?
I think
Some
3
days
days ago
ago.
or so.
Right.
I sent it to you.
Oh, no, I think I saw it in a group. We are in a
Yeah,
group. I saw you
yeah,
posted, and some people
yeah.
were not very happy about it. They were talking
issues,
about discretion or something like that.
I said viewer discretion
Okay.
advised.
Yeah. So issues that we don't see as important
No, so you've not sent it to me. You need
are
to
the most important ones, but because they are not physical, you cannot touch it. We normally downplay it, or we lose sight of it. Okay, now here we are now heading, without taking into consideration that whatever the person keeps on watching subconsciously becomes part of the person. So we leave our kids to watch just anything. And that is the results we are seeing today. Now, if we can speak the truth, you and I know that the moral fabric that used to be around those days in our days is not what we see today. Where did it start? The songs they listen to, the movies they watch, what their parents do, the society they live in, all these kind of things have come together. And it has resulted in what we are seeing today. So now we sit on radio, we say, oh, a child delinquency is on the high. They didn't manufacture it. It is the society that made them who they are today. So the classification board is very important. But as to whether you have the power, as to whether the security personnel also understand, you can understand it. What about the person who is supposed to cause the arrest? If that person is not in line with what you understand, it will be an effort in futility, because you have to struggle to explain why it is important for him to go and do his job. So all these things come to play. Now, let's move on. Movie industry. Now, whether we like it or not, times are changing. Those days where I remember they used Piamonco, and now it's no more. Then we came to CDs. Then pen drives also came in. Now you and I know that the competition has broadened. If you have a mobile phone, you have the whole world in your hands. So if you produce content, and your content do not meet the standard of what I want, I have the option to either watch you or ignore you. Now I can watch any other movie I want to watch to in the world if I have data and I have a mobile phone. So now the competition has become tougher. I think that moving forward, we should first look at how we can bridge the academia and the people with the experience in the job on the ground, because there is a disconnect. Those who graduate from school, people like Rhea, think that they are the professionals because they have been to school. Those on the ground also feel that, we are the poster boys. So there seems to be some rivalry, some cold war. But we all need to come together. Somebody has studied playwright. Somebody has studied how to write a movie script. Why don't we bring that person on board so that that person provides professional work that can meet the standard, that can meet the competition? Then whoever is on the ground, who knows how to implement, who knows how to add up, we can hold pieces of it so that we can make it better than to have that division, that classification. Yeah, they are they, we are we. We can never win when it comes to the point. So the storyline plays a role. Sometimes you hear somebody will come, oh, I slept and I had this dream and I wrote this movie out of it and I think it's a good movie. So I want a producer. I want somebody to help me. I remember so quick. One time I called you It's about 4 or 5 years ago. I called you and I told you a young man wanted to see you. Later, you were like, I went through the script and I told him, young man, Charlie, find another job and do. Because you do not see the head and tail of it. But he feels that he also has a story. But the same story, a professional, script writer can at least,
like Abeku Segu.
yeah, can help you fine-tune it to suit the system. Gone were the days where our movies were always witchcraft and juju and all these things. Now, people are watching different fictions and all these kind of things. So we should have professional playwrights who will write, or professional script writers who will write the scripts to suit competition. Then we talk about light quality, sound quality, even the effects and all these things. If we do not do that, we can provide the content, but people cannot be forced to watch our content. They have choices. So competition is important. We have to come stronger and make sure that, okay, if I put my movie here and I put this movie from this other country here, I know that my movie is the best.
Okay, my brother, I want to understand something.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we've got all these rights.
Mm-hmm.
Example is here, Peter.
Yeah.
You produce a good film. How will the people get to see that it's a good film?
Publicity.
Publicity. You've done all the publicity. Fine. Will they come because you've done publicity?
As to coming to
the theater.
The theater, you see, that is where the problem is. Because, let me use myself as an example. I'll hardly drive because I want to go and watch a movie.
Why?
Because I have options on my phone.
Options on your phone. So you have the films on your phone.
Not the films, but I have platforms that I can go and watch movies that I want to watch.
Okay, so these movies, these platforms, the movies were put there by the producers, isn't it?
But some of them they have people. Some you have to pay before you can watch.
I'm coming. So it was put there by a producer.
Yeah.
A producer produced the film and put it there.
Yeah.
Good.
Or gave it to an agent to do that.
Put it there.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the films were not on these platforms, you have no option
than to go and watch.
Because you have to satisfy your senses, the sense of ear, sense of sight, sense of smell. So you go and watch.
Yeah.
Good. Now between these two platforms, going to the cinema to watch and watching it on your phone, the records are there to show that if all these people go to the theaters and watch, you will make more money. Do you understand? The records are there to show. So if I don't put my films on these gadgets, because I have the choice, I have the right. Do you understand? I have the right. So I decided whether I want to give it to this or to go to the theater.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Good. So people are not going to the theaters because we have also given it to them through another window, and it's not making us money. Do you understand?
So
if you have the best film,
no, I'm coming.
No, he's not. He hasn't finished though.
No.
So let him finish.
No, I was speaking and he came in.
I couldn't get the import of
I was
saying.
the
channel
one
of distribution. Distribution channels.
Yeah, that is
you
what
understand. That is all. Right. It's not about the good film. You can have all the good film, but if the distribution channel collapsed, you will lose.
Right.
You can produce the best of films, but if the distribution channel collapsed, you will lose. Because if about how many of us are here? 6. You produce the best of films. And we all produce average films, and we put it on this gadget, and everybody is watching it for free. If you produce the best film, put it in the cinema, nobody will go there.
That one too is there. But
it's not there. That is
but
the
there
problem.
Are platforms that you have to pay before you watch.
This morning, all that we have discussed.
There are platforms that you have to pay.
All the problems we have discussed here. I beg you, hold it.
I was the world is heading towards that trajectory, right?
My sister, wait.
So Chris, I was
now. I need to come in forcefully because
kill the cinema.
What is adding that?
It's added, so you have the choice. You have to now use your head.
But
you decide what to
do.
do.
What to watch.
Andy,
no, I cannot tell you what to watch. Yes, I can tell you.
About
Please, hold it. We are getting to the close. Black is here, so let's drive. You have the choice. You understand whether to go to the cinema or not to go. You decide. But if I don't give it to you, because I produce the film with my money, do you understand? If I don't give it to you on this gadget, You can't force me to put it there. I decide.
You see, nobody is saying that anybody is.
So if you can't get it anywhere,
you didn't allow
apart
me
from the
to
cinema,
allow me to.
you will go
finish
to the
what
cinema.
I was saying,
and I'll make
what
my
I was
money.
saying
Okay,
is,
so let's
what I
go
was
on
saying
and
is, yes, you decide not to put it there,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody maybe not in Ghana will put it there.
Which one? My film?
Not your film. I'm
Other
talking
films.
about any other film.
But if you want the Ghanaian film, as a Ghanaian,
Say,
and you want a
premiere-
Ghanaian film,
So you see, that is where we are coming to, that we should let people know the need to support our own.
it's not about support. It is the
Yes.
producers who will decide.
No, because if you don't put it there, it is not by force that I should.
Andy,
Yes,
But
yes,
if you
yes,
don't
yes,
put it there, someone pirates it. How about
It is
that?
not.
It's a pirated work.
It is
Then we
not
go
by-
after the
It
person.
is not by force that I should
Andy.
watch
No,
a
because-
Ghanaian film.
because-
No, yes, it's
Because
not by
people have
force.
choices.
Yes.
So we
Yes,
should let
Peter.
the people know the need to also support.
All right. Peter, please let me hear your last words before we move on.
So for instance, when I premiered Aloe Vera, I had close to about 7,000 people, if not a little over, on the opening night. And then when you multiply that by 50 cities, you get a certain amount. Going first by her YouTube idea, if 7,000 people watch that film on YouTube, $1 per 1,000 view, that's like $7. Is that not it?
Mhm.
Good. If I take it to a pay-per-view platform, they will pay like 3 cities or 4 cities per 1 view. Multiply by that 7,000, you will not get what I'll be getting in the cinema. I could have even gotten more if the COVID hadn't broken and we. So you see, like you're saying, there are levels to the distribution. There's like the primary, secondary, tertiary, that kind of things. If you skip that primary and go to the secondary, you lose all the revenues in the primary one, which you will not get again. But that is the biggest source of the revenues people, the filmmakers
is
make.
our
I'm
problem.
not disputing
And
what you
nobody
are
will-
saying.
Stop what you are saying.
I'm
You
not
can't
disputing.
reality.
No.
So
imagination.
Who told you what I'm telling you is
We
imagination?
are facing a problem. and we are talking about
Andy,
That's
solutions.
what I also
Andy,
see.
so if you're a filmmaker and you make a film,
So Chris, just
Hits FM.
Okay, so hold on, Ernest. Ria,
That is a different
Ria,
thing.
let me hear your final words. You have not spoken too much.
No, I think that it's there's a way to go about it. If you want people to troop into the cinemas, because I have been to Accra Mall Silverbed cinema before. I've seen Ghanaian movies like lineups all the way, but I go and watch Black Panther, or I go and watch a new Bollywood movie coming up, because I've not seen even a trailer that would entice me to go and watch the Ghanaian movie. You understand? So then why should I go? What is gingering my interest
It means when you
to
come
go and
from
watch?
Haiti,
I
you know
just
what?
can't see. I just can't see Majid Michelle and Van
Ajete
Vika Ajete Anan on a billboard, and I'm like, oh, do you know what entice people to go and watch Keteke on Netflix? Because of the trailer. That's what entices people.
Is saying, satiric parables, everything, all of that things being equal. You've done your hype, you've done your this, blah, 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 and things like that.
Yeah, but what
But
I'm
you
also
choose
trying to say,
online over cinema. That's
what I'm also trying to say is that
saying.
fine, maybe you make your money off cinema. It's all the interest. It is just the interest for me. Something must click. Something must trigger me. I've
Okay,
never
so
gone
Ria,
to-
would you go to a cinema or would you want to watch it online?
honestly, I would want to sit in the comfort of my home to watch the
All right.
movie.
Okay, Uncle Sol, please
Yeah.
end it. Please
For
end it.
me, all this conversation from morning till now, since morning till now,
It's still
the
morning.
problem is about, it's still morning, okay.
Yeah.
It's all about distribution. That has collapsed the industry. Talk of good films, we are doing good films. All the hype and everything, we're doing it. But because we missed the distribution channel, that is what brought us on our knees. The producer starts losing money. The distributors start losing money. Do you understand? We were hoodwinked into something that was not feasible. Do you understand? Like Peter is saying, 1,000 stream on YouTube will give you $1. And we were hoodwinked with the numbers. Hey, he has about, there's a hot fork on how do you call it? YouTube. Go and check the numbers. About 8 million views. But can also show you the numbers, how much I made from the sales and from the cinemas. Do you understand? So it is up to me, the producer, to know that, okay, then we all come together as Ghanaian film industry to decide that, look, everybody in Ghana, if you want to see a Ghanaian film, this is the channel that you will see it. You can choose to decide that you will stay in the comfort of your home. You can't get a Ghanaian film to watch. English Premier League, Okosroba form. This Okoto DSTV. Okosroba form. Okoto DSTV. Forget about the pirated ones. They are still pirated channels that they watch. They are still there. They are arresting them. But the moment they take it off there and give it other avenues, they will lose market. The same thing applies to the film industry. Because we have mistakenly, out of our stupidity and ignorance, create other channels for it. So people are getting that content on those channels.
Right.
And we are losing the bigger chunk of the market. Do you understand? Because you go to on your phone, you can get it. I gave you an example. 6 of us here. If 5 put it there and 1 decide not to go, the 1 will lose.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming, Uncle Soak. Thank you very much, Peter. Ernest, thank you very much for coming.
Uncle Soaks didn't allow me to land.
Because where you are going,
I'm not going anywhere.
You are not contributing.
No,
to it.
who told you? Who told you?
I
I
am
was not
telling you, you are not
contributing.
contributing anything.
Who told you? You have your views. I also have mine. You have your problems.
It is my
but
right.
I
So
am
see,
also
people
a
forget
viewer.
that the producer decide to give you that
also
window.
a viewer.
They feel that it is
from the viewer's point of
they
view. I
feel
also
that
have a
it
say.
is compulsory.
So
when you
you
produce
gentlemen,
ladies,
I'm making money
we
for
also
you.
view the
I'm
movie.
just- I'm not saying I'm
Yes,
making
but
money
if
for
I don't give it to
But
you
I'm just
there,
saying
now
that
we are
now-
talking about the
listen to
collapse.
Hitz FM.
okay, now all I've been looking for,
This is Hitz.
all I've been asking for is solution.